Welcome back, everyone. In today's lesson, we will focus on one of the most fascinating parts of the organic farming, organic livestock production. So in this lesson, we will examine how organic standards shape animal welfare, feeding, housing, health management, and the environmental impact of the livestock systems. We will also review the main European regulation, especially Regulation 2018-848 and 2020-464, which define the official rules for organic animal production. So by the end of the lesson, you will understand how organic livestock farming seeks balance between productivity, ethics, and ecology, create a system that respects both animal and farmers. So, organic livestock production is more than a set of technical rules. It's a farming philosophy. It aims to create harmony between animals' welfare, environmental protection, and food quality. Animals are raised on organic feed, given adequate space to move and graze, and managed through preventive healthcare instead of routine antibiotics. So these systems also protect soil fertility and pasture biodiversity, reducing the overall environmental footprint of animal production. So, in short, organic livestock farming integrates animals, humans, and ecosystems into a single responsible production model, where caring for nature and producing food go hand in hand. The ethical foundation of organic livestock farming was defined by the International Federation of Organic Agriculture Movements, IFOAM, back in 2005. These four principles, health, ecology, fairness, and care, guide every decision in organic production. They reflect the idea that farming should not only produce food, but also sustain the well-being of all living systems. So, when we apply this principle to animals, we arrive at the concept of organic animal welfare, which is not only about avoiding disease. It's about ensuring that animals can feel well, function well, and live naturally. So, feeling well means that animals experience comfort and low stress. Functioning well means that their physiological needs are met, they are healthy, strong, and resilient. And living naturally means that, for example, cow can graze, pigs can root, and hens can stretch. In other words, they can behave like real animals. This is the combination of naturalness and human care. Organic farmers not just let the animals be wild, they actively manage them with empathy, ensuring comfort and safety while allowing freedoms and choice. A researcher did by Warnst and others showed that this approach leads to better immune function, lower stress hormones level, and improved food quality, like milk with higher omega-3 fatty acids or meat with fewer residues. The figure illustrates one of the most fascinating ideas in organic livestock farming: the interface between naturalness and human care. On the left side, naturalness means giving animals the freedom to express their instincts, for example, grazing, rooting, stretching, and moving freely, and choosing when to rest. But organic farming doesn't mean simply leaving animals alone. The right side, so human caregiving, highlights the farmer's active role in ensuring animals that are safe, comfortable and free from pain and distress. So the overlap between the two circles is where true organic animal welfare happens. A balance between freedom and protection. Our research shows that when animals are managed in this way, they live healthier and stronger lives, showing lower cortisol levels and stronger immune responses and better product quality. So this perspective transformed the farmer's role from controller to caretaker within the ecosystem. It's a partnership between humans and animals based on empathy and ecological understanding. Let's now move to animal welfare and housing requirements. In organic livestock system, animal welfare is not just a principle, it's a legal requirement under EU Regulation 2020, the number 464. One of the most distinctive aspects concerns space allowance and outdoor access. So all cattle must have access to outdoor areas throughout the year, and tied-up systems are completely banned. So during the grazing season, animals are required to stay outdoors, except for the last 3 months of fattening. The regulation defines specific minimum indoor and outdoor areas for each species. So some examples are dairy cows, at least 6 square meter indoors and 4.5 square meter outdoors per animal. Bulls for breeding, 10 square meter indoors and 3 square meter outdoors. For example, young cattle, so up to 350 kilograms, from 1.5 square indoor indoor and 1.1 square meter outdoors, increasing for calves, 4 square meter indoor and 3 square meter outdoors. Sheep and goats, 1.5 square meter indoor and 2.5 square meter outdoor. And pigs, for example, 0.6 square meter indoor and 0.4 square meter outdoor. It depends for body weight. So these special standards are designed to allow free movement, social interaction, and resting and natural behaviors, such as grazing, rooting, and playing. So providing animals this adequate space and outdoor access not only improve comfort and welfare, but also contributes to disease prevention and better quality of the product, of the final product, fully aligned with the holistic objectives of the organic production model, where health, welfare, and sustainability are inseparable. So after discussing how organic regulation protects the welfare of larger livestock species, let's now move to poultry, where space, light, and natural behavior are equally central but required even more specific management. According to EU Regulation 2018 and its implementing Rule 2020, every flock must have daily outdoor access with at least 4 square meters of vegetation covered area per bird. These outdoor ranges are not just symbolic, they are essential for dust bathing, foraging, and movement, which help maintaining both physical and physiological health. Indoor space is carefully regulated too. For laying hens, the limit is 6 birds per square meter, with at least 18 centimeters of perch per hen. allowing them to rest and express hierarchy naturally. For broilers, the density cannot exceed 10 birds per square meter or 21 kilograms of live weight per square meter. Houses must be designed to let in natural light and fresh air, ensuring proper ventilation and at least 6 hours of continuous darkness every day, each day, supporting healthy circadian rhythms. Another key aspect of organic poultry production is feeding. Birds must receive 100% of organic, GMO-free feed, and wherever possible, at least 70% of that feed should come from same farm or local region, reinforcing the idea of a circular and self-sufficient food system. So, practices that compromise welfare, like break trimming, force feeding, or the routine use of antibiotics are completely banned. So, just like the other livestock species, the aim is to combine freedom and responsible care. Organic poultry systems provide the condition for birds to move, stretch, and forage, behaviors that reduce stress and improve health and create a more balanced, sustainable production environment. Before moving to scientific insights, I wanted to add that in recent years, even conventional non-organic farming has started to shift towards practicals that are more focused on animal welfare, partially inspired by the principles of organic farming. So this change is manifesting in greater attention to the quality of life for animals with larger spaces, more respectful management or their natural behaviors, and the adoption of techniques that reduce stress, such as grazing and rootlings, as I said before. While organic farming remains a benchmark where animals' welfare is central to production, conventional farming is also making significant strides to better meet the ethical needs of animals. So there are not big differences in the last years. Farming practicals are becoming more human and sustainable, recognizing the importance of a balanced and respectful relationship between animals and humans and also the environment. So it is a positive sign that the entire sector, both organic and non-organic, so the traditional one, is evolving towards a more responsible and conscious vision of agricultural production. Now I wanted to show you the scientific insight. That we have seen the general rules for space, feeding, and welfare in organic poultry. Let's look at what science tells us about how this system actually affects the bird's behavior and health. Organic poultry systems usually use slower growing breeds, keep animals at lower stocking densities, and provide environmental enrichment, such as perches, straw bales, and natural light and outdoor areas. These changes may seem small, but they make a real difference. A study carried out in Denmark by Rasmussen and colleagues in 2024 compare organic farming and conventional broilers using animals based indicators on welfare. The results show that organic chickens, which were slaughtered later, between 49 and 55 days of age, had better walking ability and showed more positive emotional states. They were described as active, happy, energetic, and positively occupied compared to fast growing conventional birds. This means that giving animals more time to grow, more space, and access to stimulating environments leads to healthier and more expressive behavior, sign that the animals are not only surviving but also living in better conditions. Let's now move to another key part of organic livestock production: feeding strategy, which is closely connected to the concept of a circular food system. The figure you can see here from Van Zanten in 2019 shows how plants, animals, and humans form one big biological cycle. In this system, farmland is used first to produce food for people. So when byproducts such as straw, husk, crop residues, or food waste are generated, they are not discarded. Instead, they are reused either as feed for animals or returned to the soil to improve its fertility. So, as I said before, in organic systems, animals must eat 100% organic products and GMO-free feed. So for ruminants, for example, at least 60% of their diet must come from roughage, like grass, hay, or silage. And for pigs and poultry, at least 20% of the feed must be produced directly on the farm, supporting local feed autonomy. A small portion of feed can also come from land under conversion or to organic status, so up to 30 or 60% if it comes from the same farm. So this circular approach helps save natural resources and closes the nutrient loop, transforming livestock farming from one-way linear system into a regenerative model. Let's now move to another key aspect: health management. Organic systems have long focused on prevention rather than cure, emphasizing natural resistance and good management instead of routine medical treatments. This means keeping animals in clean, well-ventilated housing with dry bedding, providing balanced nutrition and ensuring regular outdoor access to reduce stress and promote natural behavior. The use of antibiotics and synthetic antiparasitic drugs is permitted only when strictly necessary and always under veterinary supervision. Instead, natural remedies such as phytotherapy and homeopathy are encouraged as part of a holistic approach to animal care. So these preventive strategies, together with biosecurity and quarantine measures, form new this helps maintain herd health and limit disease spread. However, this strict limitation on antibiotic use also creates an ethical dilemma. It's true that organic systems reduce the risk of antimicrobial resistance and residues in food, but when a sick animal cannot be treated promptly, the outcome can sometimes be fatal. In contrast, as I said before, conventional farms today have made significant progress. Blanket antibiotic use is largely avoided. Welfare is a priority, and treatments are applied only when truly necessary. So the key difference often lies in where to draw the line between strict prevention and timely intervention. That's particularly interesting and is the many conventional farms now adopt similar preventive strategies, focusing on comfort, hygiene, stress reduction, and vaccination. Not because they are required to be organic, but because it's simply good farming practices. So rather than seeing the two systems as opposite, it's more accurate to see organic farming as an early driven of innovation that helps raise welfare standards across the entire livestock sector. Now let's move to another key aspect, health management. Organic systems have long focused on prevention rather than cure, emphasizing natural resistance and good management instead of routine medical treatments. This means keeping animals in clean, well-ventilated housing with dry bedding and providing balanced nutrition and ensuring regular outdoor access to reduce stress and promote natural behavior. So the use of antibiotics and synthetic antiparasitic drugs is permitted only when strictly necessary and always under veterinary supervision. Instead, natural remedies such as phytotherapy and homeopathy are encouraged as part of the holistic approach to animal care. These preventive strategies, together with biosecurity and quarantine measures for the new animals, help maintain herd health and limit disease spread. However, this strict limitation on antibiotic use also creates a ethical dilemma. For example, it's true that organic systems reduce the risk of antibiotic resistance and residues in food, but when a sick animal cannot be treated promptly, the outcome can sometimes be fatal. In contrast, conventional farms today have made a significant progress. Blanket antibiotic use is largely avoided. Welfare is a priority and treatments are applied only when truly necessary. So the key difference often lies in where to draw the line between strict prevention and timely intervention. That's particularly interesting that many conventional farms now adopt similar preventive strategies focusing on comfort, stress reduction, and vaccination, not because they are required to be organic, but because it is simply good farming practice. So today, both systems are moving towards the same goal. So healthy, resilient animals cared for with responsibility and respects. So in the previous slide, we explored how animal health depends on prevention and responsible care. But organic farming and really in all livestock systems, health also depends on the way the farm itself is managed. The European regulation emphasize this link by setting rules that ensure balance between animals, lands, and feed resources. First, farms must maintain a proper ratio between livestock units and utilized agricultural area. This prevents overstocking, reduces stress, and limits the risk of disease outbreaks or environmental pollution. Second, at least 35% of the feed should come directly from the farm's own land or nearby areas, yes. And this supports feed quality, traceability, and local sustainability while encouraging farmers to use their own resources efficiently. Third point, pasture availability must be proportional to herd size, ensuring every animal have access to space for grazing and exercise. This not only improves physical condition but also supports natural behavior and mental well-being. These requirements show that animal health is not only isolated issue, it's the results of how the entire farm ecosystem is designed and managed. And just like we mentioned before, this approach is not only exclusive to organic farms. Many conventional farmers are also adopting integrated management systems that prioritize space, biosecurity, and feed sufficiency. So far, we have explored how organic livestock farming supports animal welfare, biodiversity, and environmental protection. But how does it really compare to conventional farming when we look at the full picture of sustainability? There are several studies that have compared organic and conventional systems from different perspectives, but one of the most complete analyses was conducted by Van Wagerberg and colleagues in 2017. They reviewed 179 scientific papers from Europe, North America, and New Zealand, evaluating 5 main pillars: economy, productivity, environmental impact, animal welfare, and public health. Their findings show a mixed picture. Conventional systems are generally more productive with higher milk and meat yields, lower production costs per unit, and smaller land requirements for each kilogram of products. They also tend to have lower acidification and eutrophication potential when measured per kilogram of milk or meats. On the other hand, organic systems offer strong advantages in biosecurity, soil health, and animal welfare. They also contribute to lower antibiotic resistance, produce milk with more beneficial fatty acids, and often generate higher income per animal, although with lower overall productivity. So there isn't a simple better or worse. Each system performs well in different areas, and both have something valuable to offer. So the authors, at the end, they suggest moving beyond competition between systems and focusing instead on combining their strengths, bringing together the technological efficiency of conventional farming with the ecological and ethical standards of organic farming. So, this hybrid approach could represent the future of sustainable livestock production, where innovation and respect for nature works side by side. In this lesson, we explored the main features of organic farming, livestock farming, but it's equally important to understand its real economic and practice constraints. Have you ever wondered why organic products at the supermarkets are usually more expensive? Well, products costs are often higher. Feed must be because feed must be certified organic, labor is more intensive, and certification adds more administrative costs. Some studies also warn that increasing space and or welfare standards, while beneficial for animals, further raise the cost and final prices. There are also cases where animals suffering from disease cannot be treated promptly because of strictly antibiotic regulation, a situation that sometimes may lead to animal death. This reflects one of the biggest ethical dilemmas in organic livestock systems. Moreover, lower productivity or slower growth rates compared to conventional systems means that farmers depend on a price premium to remain economically viable, but the market does not always guarantee it. So, organic livestock system requires excellent management, careful risk mitigation, and a market that recognizes and rewards their added costs. These trade-offs don't invalidate the model. They simply remind us where further innovation, policy support, and balance are needed. So, to conclude, organic production plays an important role in making agriculture more sustainable, but it also has structural limits that must be acknowledged and managed wisely. Recognizing both its strengths and weaknesses is the first step toward building farming systems that are truly fair, efficient, and resilient. So that's all for this lesson. Thank you very much for following this lesson. In the end, organic livestock farming teaches us that sustainability is not just about following rules, it's about balance. So, a balance between productivity and respect for nature, between animal welfare and farmers' needs, and between tradition and innovation. So, see you in the next lessons. Thank you.